Congresswoman Corrine Brown, whose district includes Pulse, was here with the president descending from Air Force One. She was also with the vice president yesterday as they all met with those first responders and officers and thanked them for their bravery. And the Congresswoman is kind enough to join me live now from Orlando. Thank you so much, Congresswoman Brown, for talking to me today. I wanted to first ask you about your journey to Orlando from Washington on board Air Force One with the president. That is a very rare occurrence that someone has that kind of time aboard Air Force One, one-on-one effectively. Did you talk at length about what had happened and what the path forward was with the president on that trip?
Well, one of the things that the president mentioned, how hard it is to talk to families about this situation. I've represented Orlando for 24 years, and I've got to tell you, the community has really come together, and it's very hard dealing with this issue. You know, families are very important, and we have a problem in the United States with domestic terrorism. Clearly, we need to do something in Congress other than having 1-minute prayer. Today marked 1 year since the same situation happened in Carolina, and we had a minute of silent prayer. But after we finish praying, then what are we going to do?
I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that and the efforts in Congress right now. There'll be a vote on Monday. But before I do that, once you descended to, you know, the base of this staircase of Air Force One, there was that mission that you were all on. We've been seeing some pictures of the president and the vice president meeting privately with some of those survivors and family members. And you also had those meetings with the first responders. Tell me a little bit about what that was like.
Well, you know, in talking to them, they said they're not heroes, but yes, there was heroes. They did their job, and hearts go out to them. We're thanking them for all of their service. They put themselves in harm's way because they did not know whether or not it was a bomb inside, but they was able to do what they needed to do to get people out and get them to safety. So we want to thank them from the bottom of our hearts. It was a coordinated effort between the first responders, the police, just the community and the services, how this community has come together. When you say Orlando love and Orlando strong, this is an example. And we want to also say Orlando safe.
So there was a father and a mother yesterday who lost their son, Shane Tomlinson. And Corliss Tomlinson said this about the visit from the president. His words are not going to make me feel better. It's definitely not bringing my son back. I was just happy that he was showing compassion. But you sit there and you hear people talking and you don't know what they're saying because your mind is focused on when I get home, I have to start making funeral arrangements. And to that end, I'm sure that the Tomlinsons and so many other people in your district who've been affected by this want to know about that vote on Monday. And as brief as possible, if you could be, what difference will Monday make when so many are saying nothing will happen?
Well, you know, I feel like the #1 responsibility of members of Congress, whether you're talking about the House or the Senate, is to protect the American public. And I'm waiting to see that vote. Who's going to stand up for the American people? How long is this going to go on? It is ludicrous. Keep it in mind, in 1994, I voted to do away with assault weapons. Why? Well, you're not hunting. You're not protecting yourself. What are you doing? You know, many of my colleagues,
yeah, sorry,
many of my colleagues often talk about, many of my colleagues often talk about religion. You know, to whom God has given much, much is expected. They expect us to do our job in protecting them.